Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Now, I know you're reading the title of this video and immediately thinking, one of three things: clickbait, which is true; racist, which is not true, quit being overly sensitive; and third and finally, some of my favorite video games are Japanese. Instant dislike. I would kindly ask for your patience, and that you hear me out before immediately dismissing me. Now, the catalyst for this video is because I have 3 upcoming videos concerning Japanese video games: Bayonetta, Vanquish, and Nier Automata. I intend on making review commentary videos for each of these games. Nier Automata I am way behind on, and Bayonetta and Vanquish recently came out on the PC, so I finally got to play them. And there is one criticism I have of each of these games, which I realized while writing the scripts for each of these videos that was consistent for each of these games, all of them being Japanese. So I decided to make this video as a precaution, as a forewarning for if you watch these upcoming free videos on these games. Because I know a great deal of people that are incredibly passionate about Japanese storytelling, whether it be through anime, video games, movies, whatever it may be. North America loves Japan. I also know a fair bit of my subscribers and viewers are weebs. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I kid, or do I? Anyways, outside of my why all anime is shit to me video I made some time ago, I've never really made a solid case for why Japanese storytelling, Japanese character development just doesn't resonate with me, why I dislike it. It's why I dislike most anime. It's why most Japanese video games, well, I enjoy the gameplay and the visuals, the story usually falls apart for me. And that's something I like to emphasize for me. This video is called Why I Dislike Japanese Storytelling in Video Games, not why Japanese storytelling in video games is bad. I'm sure that some of the Japanese video games and movies and anime that I've watched are pretty good storytelling-wise. If I were to look at them objectively, I'm sure objectively they're pretty good, but for me, subjectively, my personal opinion, my personal taste, my personal preferences, they're not for me. I dislike them. I don't find them entertaining or engaging or interesting. And it's only fair that I explain why. There are 3 major components of Japanese storytelling that disinterest me and I dislike, and that negatively affect the experience for me. At least the narrative experience in this case. One of them being the overt use of symbolism. The Japanese love their symbolism, whether it be anime, video games, movies, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, in my opinion, a great deal of common sense, rationality, character motivations, decisions, and overall intelligence is at times sacrificed for the sake of symbolism. Why did that character do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why did that character say that? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's symbolic. Yeah, but who's trying to be symbolic? The characters or the writers? If it's the characters, it doesn't make any sense. Why are they trying to be symbolic? This is not the time and place for that. If it's the writers, then goddamn, they have never heard of subtlety. And a major aspect of Japanese storytelling when it comes to symbolism is that it's usually symbolic in reference, historical events, religious texts, history within several different religions, existentialism, politicism, and the list goes on and on and on. While in my opinion, Western and European storytellers absolutely have inspiration and make references to all these different subject matters, they don't sacrifice story development and character development in the process though, in my opinion. Whereas I find with a lot of anime and Japanese video games, when it comes to their stories, I've had to do homework and research and have other people explain to me how the story is actually good because, oh, the story, it's all a giant reference to Adam and Eve, or this old biblical war, or it's inspired by this philosopher and his ideas. Okay, that's cool. So the characters had to act like idiots in order to get that across? They had to say and do stupid, nonsensical things just for the sake of referencing the author's inspirations? There were several moments throughout playing Bayonetta and Nier Automata where I just asked the question, why? And the game never told me. I got my answers from a third party that explained to me, oh, that's a reference to a book. Oh, that's a reference to a movie. Oh, that's a reference to this. That's a reference to that. I shouldn't have to do homework before watching a show or playing a video game. I shouldn't have to do all this homework, consume all this extra information to get an understanding of some of the events that occur within the story. Now, the second fault I have with Japanese storytelling, and it's how the rule of show, don't tell is handled. In every single Japanese video game I have ever played, and in every single anime I have watched, there are several events that occur that are only explained to you from the characters, giving exposition. You don't actually see what they're talking about. But the reverse is true as well. Sometimes you see things that happen in the anime or in the game, but they're never verbally explained to you. Like, you don't understand what's happening. Like, you see it, you see what's going on, but you don't understand it. But then to top it all off, there's also this very odd thing that Japanese storytelling has a tendency of doing, and that's showing and telling things that don't need to be shown or told. I've watched far too many anime where a character on the sidelines is explaining word for word what's going on when they don't need to. I can see what's going on. Or when we hear what certain characters are thinking and they're about to telegraph what they're going to do and what we're going to see for the next few seconds. I'm like, dude, I don't need this explained to me. I can see it. For instance, when a character on the sideline says, oh, that character is tired, and you see that that character's all beaten up, their hair is messy, they're sweating, they're breathing heavily, you don't need to tell me that they're tired. I can see that they're tired. You're showing me, so there's no need to tell. And how Japanese storytelling handles the show don't tell rule with all these bizarre mixed variations, where they'll tell you things but never show you, where they'll show you things but never tell you, or where they'll show and tell you things that don't need to be shown or told. This has happened in every single Japanese game I've played, and this has happened in almost every single anime I've played. I tried looking for examples of Western video games and Western television shows and movies, as well as European video games and television shows and movies that do these same things. I honestly did for this video. I couldn't find a single game in my library that does what I'm describing. Only the Japanese video games that I own. Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Ninja Blade, Binary Domain, Street Fighter V, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry 4, Dragon's Dogma, the Earth Defense Force games. God, this happens all the time in the Earth Defense Force games. Front Mission Evolved. God, does that ever happen in that game? Killer is Dead. Oh man, that's a major culprit. I can keep going, but I think I'll stop it here. I think if you've played any Japanese video game or watched any anime, you have an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to show don't tell, and the unique variations they have on that. And finally, my biggest fault, my biggest issue. The major contributing factor to why I just dislike Japanese storytelling. And I'm going to admit right off the bat, this is remarkably petty. It's absolutely petty. Please, absolutely, feel free to call me petty in the comment section down below. This is, after all, why I dislike Japanese storytelling. My subjective tastes and preferences, and they can be as ridiculous as I want them to be, and in this case, they absolutely are. I can acknowledge that. So the number one contributing factor as to why I dislike Japanese storytelling is, well, the pointless bullshit, the pointless weird shit. And I'm sure if you've played a Japanese video game, or seen an anime, you know what I'm talking about. There always comes a point I find when playing a Japanese video game or watching an anime where the characters say or do something that's just weird. It doesn't make any sense. No logical, rational sense. No symbolism behind it. There's no deeper meaning behind it. It's not a reference to anything. It's just this weird out of nowhere shit that's just there for the sake of being there. The characters do and say these things for the sake of just doing them and saying them. For shock factor, maybe? Shock value? God, I have so many examples. For instance, in Bayonetta, there's this one scene where Bayonetta starts having a dance-off with this angel look-alike. I asked one of my friends who's a big fan of Bayonetta and knows almost everything having to do with the game, what was the point of the dance-off? Is that symbolistic? Is it a reference to something? He told me no. It just happens. It's one of those weird Japanese-isms where characters just break out into a dance-off. It happens. In the video game Killer is Dead, there's this entire game mode that's just a giant WTF called Gigolo mode. It's basically just a dating sim. Well, it's not even a dating sim. It's a awkwardly look at this female character who has nothing to do with the plot, mind you. Just stare at their face and their boobs for long enough and you're rewarded with a very short sensual cutscene. And given secondary weapons as a reward? Why do I need to play this pervy dating sim in order to get brand new side weapons? The female characters in this dating mode have nothing to do with the main plot of the game, so what the hell? Then again, Killer is Dead is just a giant WTF as it is. And then there's anime. Oh dear God, anime. Oh, the weird shit that happens in anime. I swear, watching some anime makes me feel like, am I under the influence? Did I accidentally drink some alcohol or do some narcotics before watching this? Because this doesn't seem right. That character said and did things that don't seem reasonable or rational whatsoever. I've already had people tell me that these are really bad anime and I shouldn't have watched them, but I've seen the anime Noah Zero, Knights of Sidonia, Seven Deadly Sins, and I regret watching all of them, but I watched quite a few episodes of each of those shows because I wanted to see, okay, is this all just build up to something? Are all these weird things that the characters are doing and saying all foreshadowing? Not just weird stupid shit leads absolutely nowhere. Oh hey, that character has the hots. For this character, is that going to lead to a romance or a love triangle? Nope. That whole character's existence is just to be attracted to the main character, but then do absolutely nothing about it. Huh, that's pretty weird and pointless. I remember saying out loud so many times, why did that person say that? Why did that person do that? And when it comes down to it, this is all just a cultural thing. This is a thing in Japanese culture. This is character development. This is storytelling. This is humor. This is comedy to the Japanese. A great deal of Western audiences love it. A great deal of you love it. I don't, unfortunately. I wish I did. I truly wish I did. I wish I found the stories in Japanese video games more entertaining and not frustrating and confusing. I wish I enjoyed more anime, but I just can't. I simply can't. I try. I still continue to try and fail, unfortunately. And so, with all that being said, I just wanted to put this all out there, not for the sake of negativity, not for the sake of harshing your buzz, not for the sake of putting down something you love, but just to explain why I don't like these things, and why when I make my upcoming videos about Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Vanquish, I'm gonna bring up how I think the story was trash, to be blunt about it. However, if I more carefully select my words, I mean how I personally find them dissatisfying. I don't enjoy them. I don't like them. Me personally. I'm not saying these stories in these games are objectively bad. They're probably objectively good, and I'm sure quite a few of you with some top-notch analysis as to why each individual piece of these stories for these Japanese video games and for these animes, how they're magnificent, how they're objectively fantastic, and brilliant works of storytelling. It doesn't matter how much you break it down for me, it doesn't matter how much you analyze and explain to me, oh, this is why this is genuinely good. I'm still not gonna like it, unfortunately. That doesn't mean I still can't enjoy Japanese video games, especially for the visuals and for the gameplay, which is absolutely why I play Japanese games, especially Platinum games. God damn, do they know how to make some action games. Anyways, I hope I don't get too many dislikes on this video. I hope you can understand my perspective and where I'm coming from, that this is all a subjective thing. This is not one of those, I'm here to tell you like it is kind of videos. I'm just here sharing my personal experience, my personal preferences, tastes, opinions when it comes to Japanese storytelling. And just forewarning you all, when I make my videos on Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Vanquish, I'm not gonna have kind things to say about the story. Anyways, however, that has been a video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, if you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, and Facebook. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I love reading comments. Getting nearly enough comments, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions on the topic of this video in the comment section down below. And if you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later.